David Frangioni, Mike Wengren, 25th anniversary of Disturb the Sickness. We're here live in South Florida. Let's take a walk. All right, so Mike, this is the 25th anniversary. It's a seminal album, to say the least. And before we get into that, let's go back to the beginning, because you're a founder of the band.
I am. August of '96 is when we basically formed Disturbed. Myself and Dan Donningham, the guitar player, had been together since '92 with different versions, different lineups, other guys just trying to figure out how to make it work. And we had put an ad out in the paper, which was called Illinois Entertainer at the time.
In Chicago.
And we went through literally 50 to 60 different auditions of guys. For singer, we had a bass player at the time.
Okay.
And then one day, in walks David Draymond, our Disturbed singer now. And we had kind of gotten used to the routine of, okay, Mr. Singer guy, what covers do you know? So David walks in and we're like, all right, what covers do you know? And he's like, well, do you guys have any originals? Well, yeah. We're like, yeah, of course we do. He's like, well, just do that. We're like, well, what are you going to do? You know, it's original. How, you don't know our song. You never heard it before. He goes, just play it and I'll figure something out. So we went into a song and he just started the scat, like a rhythmic type of melody vocal line. And we were just looking around at each other like, this is great, like somebody who shows initiative, someone who has identity. It was exciting, and like from that moment we knew he was the guy.
So from that moment to the sickness, right, the beginning, so we have a 25th anniversary to celebrate. How did that come about? How'd you go from there to this album?
Back in Chicago, back in those days, there was like this sort of alternative pop rock scene with bands like, you know, Smashing Pumpkins, Veruca Salt, Local H. We weren't part of that. Like we weren't part of the cool kids club. We were considered too heavy. So as far as like getting noticed in the Chicago area, like the Metro, like we couldn't get a gig there to save our lives. So we had to go out to the suburbs, the South Side dive bars, and just try to make our own scene. So there was like a bunch of buddies of ours and other bands, and we just kind of created our own scene. We'd play these local bars. They weren't even clubs. And eventually we just started packing. So while we were doing that, we were a self-promotion machine. Whatever little money we'd save up from playing a gig, we eventually go and record a demo cassette. We would mass produce these 3-song cassette demos. And whether there was a local show or a national show in our genre, we would go out as many nights a week as we could and just promote. We'd stand outside when the show let out and just hand out cassettes just to try and get the name out there. People started to take notice, not just because of the music, but because we made sure to be out there, to be seen, to network. There was no social media, but so we socially engaged with as many people as we could.
And this is
to
the
get the name
of
out.
guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Each.
If there was multiple shows going on that night, we would just divide and conquer. We'd split up. It was all about the branding, all about getting the name out there. We just became a self-promotion machine. Eventually, other bands started to take notice about what we were doing. There was this band called Lungbrush, and they had a way in at the Metro, so they gave us an opening slide. So nice. We did really well. We promoted to our Southside fans. They showed up in droves to see us play, and from that moment on, it just was.
And then you get a deal.
August of '99 is when we got our deal.
And that's with Giant?
It was with Giant, yeah.
And then when does the sickness come out?
The Sickness came out in March of 2000. But we were living life. We're like, oh my God, we got a record deal. This is crazy. I remember Thanksgiving in '99, we were in the studio in Chicago recording. We're working because we're like, we got a deadline. Record needs to come out. So we've been on tour, blah, blah, blah. Like, we weren't crying about not being home with our families having turkey. We were in the studio and we were loving it. It was great. I feel very fortunate to have been part of creating what still to this day is our most popular song in Down with the Sickness, with what's become an iconic drum intro. And the irony is, I didn't set out to do that on purpose. We were in rehearsal one day, and I just was like noodling around like drummers do. And my guitar player, Dan, he stops me. He's like, "What was that? Do that again." And I was like, "What was what?" And he's like, "Just do what you were just doing." And I'm like, "I think it was this." And he's like, "Okay." So he just starts riffing to it, and that became The Sickness. People ask me sometimes, like, they say, "Do you ever get tired of playing that?" And I'm like, absolutely not. Because not only is it still one of our most popular songs, but again, like as a drummer, I get to start that song and immediately the audience starts to roar. I mean, it's so empowering.
Ooh, man,
it's incredible. I love it.
So the album comes out, and who do you tour with? Who's the first?
Oh
big
man,
tour?
so we were about as green as it got. We very inexperienced. Nobody knew who we were. Stupefy was released as the first single. It wasn't even doing really well at radio. The only tour we were able to get was the Danzig tour. Danzig is the headliners, Hatebreed, 6 Feet Under, and Disturbed. We were definitely the oddball of the tour. It was a great chance for us to try and earn fans from some of these different bands. Amazing guys. We had the best time, but from our audience perspective, we were definitely like, you know, the outcasts or whatever. But we just embraced it. It was great being able to experience that. Stupefy started to take off a little bit at radio, so that definitely helped us. And then shortly thereafter, we landed our first Ozfest in 2000. So that year, what they did was they had a lot of side stage bands who did the mobile stage out in the parking lot. Maybe there was like, say, 10 of us. And you rotated every day. One day you're band number 1, next day 2, 3, so on and so on. So that was the very first day of the tour, was in West Palm Beach here in Florida.
Right.
And we were the very first band, and we went on at 10 a.m., which is exactly when doors open. So we remember walking out onto stage, and there was like 4 security guards with their back turned to us and not one fan yet. But we were like, are we really supposed to start playing? They're like, trust us, go out there playing. By the time the song's over, you'll have people out there. Well, it's exactly what happened. Went into the first note, started playing. Probably by the end of the first or second song, there was probably 3,000 people standing there. And it was insane at 10 o'clock in the morning. They were like,
That's awesome.
Oh my God, we made it. Here we are.
And that was the beginning. That's
It was.
That was the launch pad. If you look
was.
back, if you'd done anything less, worked any less hard, and any less diligently, it might not have taken off the way that it did.
I think you're right about that. I mean, even to this day, we're hard workers. We love to work. We love to just embrace ourselves in the music. If it's all about writing, or if it's all about recording, it's all about the performances. We put everything into what we can.
What's going on, everybody? Today we're setting up 2 drum kits for the Sickness Tour 25th anniversary for Disturbed. So over here you can see I have a bunch of cases set up. We're going to be doing this kit first, and this is Mike's kit that he had 25 years ago for the first Sickness Tour after they came out with the Sickness album. It's a Pearl Masters custom maple, and it sounds amazing. It's really, really cool. We had to bring it back to life. A little bit of maintenance, some lugs needed replaced. Some of the tension rods needed replaced, but overall the thing sounds amazing. That real custom maple they had on those master shells, they still hold up to this day. They sound amazing, right? So that's going to be the first kit that I set up, and that'll be over here on this riser, which splits in half, and then it rolls down the ramp on the back of the stage, and that's just for the first half of our set. Then over here is going to be the second half of the set, which is the Greatest Hits kit. And we're using the Pearl Music City custom shells that go from maple birch all the way down to maple mahogany. Pretty good mix, and they sound really, really good as well. And that's the other rack that you guys saw in the last Modern Drummer run through, but we just did some manipulation with the rack to make it look a little bit different, but still the same framework. So kit number 1 is about to be set up, and then we'll do kit number 2.
Hey, Blair Bondi here, monitor engineer for Disturbed. We're here with Modern Drummer, talking about drums, and in this case, microphones. On our hi-hat, our other hi-hat, and under our ride, we have Neumann KM184s. Whenever I get my choice of small diaphragm condensers, that's my pick, so I'm happy. That was a decision actually made by our front of house guy, I think, and me, but can't go wrong with KM184s. On our toms, Earthworks DM20s. amazing sounding microphone. You don't really have to do a lot to them, especially with these drums. We have 2 kits on this tour. This one's my favorite. The other one's our front of house guy's favorite, but they're mic'd the same. If you were to look on my console at what I'm doing to these Earthworks mics, not a lot. They sound great. Pick up the attack very nice. In our kick drums, we have Beta 91s, just regular old Shure Beta 91s, can't go wrong, as well as triggers. So there's a sample on that gets blended as well. For the overheads, we got AKG C414 XLSs. There's many different types of C414s, so it's these ones. Snare bottom, we have a Beta 87. Snare top is a DPA 2012. This is definitely front of house guy's choice, Brad Divins. He loves this mic. So it's cool. It's a lot of different brands. We're not married to one particular thing. We just want what sounds the best. Certain things were more influenced by me. Certain things are more influenced by our front of house guy. And Brad Divins, if I didn't mention his name. And these kits sound amazing. It's really a joy every day to get to hear these things. I'm not sure if it's the kit they recorded the album with, but this is the kit that they would have toured that album cycle with. So we're on the 25th anniversary of the Sickness tour, and that's what this kit is. Does the whole first section of the show, and then we have a more modern kit adjusted to Mike's preferences these days for the kind of greatest hits portion of the show. But yeah, that's it.
So 25 years later, here we are, and you're on the Sickness 25th anniversary tour. How's the tour going? How's it feel to be taking a victory lap, really, on the album?
It's incredible. It's still, every day we feel like we have to pinch ourselves. We get to play some of these incredible large buildings, and we're selling out most of these arenas. It's mind-boggling. For me, I'm a huge NHL hockey fan, and being able to go into these buildings and playing on home ice of some of these incredible teams is awesome. I'm a big, I like to collect the jerseys. Now, I don't want to just go buy a jersey, because you could do that anywhere online. I love being able to collect a jersey of the team that's playing in the building we're playing in, and that's like a memento for me, because I earned it. I got to play in their home ice.
Right.
So
the Sickness tour, 25 years. You have 2 kits on stage.
yeah.
And so where was the idea for the 2 kits?
So we wanted to try and honor the album in its entirety. So we played the set front to back as it is on the record.
Okay.
And
which you've never done before.
We've never done that before. I mean, back in the earlier days we were talking, we didn't have any other music, so that's what we got to play. Sure. But at the same time, we didn't get to play. I mean, we only got sometimes 20 minutes, maybe
Right.
30 minutes, so we didn't have time to play the whole record.
Right.
So it was great to go back and relearn some of the old school songs that we hadn't played in a long time.
Awesome.
And I thought to myself, I wanted to bring back the kits that I played back on that tour.
You still had it?
I still had it. I have all the kits that I've ever
amazing.
had. Yeah, I keep them in climate controlled storage. My drum tech, Dave, he brought it out. All we had to really do was clean it up and tune it up, and it was ready to go. Sounds great, especially when we're talking about the Sickness intro.
So you recorded the album and toured on the same kit?
I didn't record with that kit. It was a different master's kit at the time.
But still Pearl.
It was still Pearl, yeah. I've always been a Pearl guy.
Are we able to get on stage?
We can run up there.
All right,
It might be a little bit
let's
loud,
do
but
it.
we can give it a shot.
Okay, let's try it. This is the greatest hits kit.
Correct.
And what's noteworthy is how tilted, I know that's one of your signatures when you play, but how tilted the snare and the ride, and just, it's a little unorthodox, right? So you have to kind of figure out how to play.
It's actually funny you're saying that, because as I've gone back to the Sickness kit, it doesn't have as much tilt, right? And I actually enjoy playing this kit better than I enjoy this
Less
kit.
tilt.
But the the way that we build this rack, it doesn't leave a lot of room for adjusting, especially in the middle of a tour cycle.
Yeah.
So I'm somewhat stuck with the way it's configured now, but I plan to do some upgrades and changes to this current setup and come up with a hybrid of this and that.
So here is the sickness kit.
Yes, sir.
All right, 25 years later. Oh, purple.
Yeah.
That's
this
the original color?
Yeah, this is I think they called it the Midnight Fade. So it's like purple, like a lighter purple at top, and it works its way down to almost black on the bottom.
It's a very cool finish.
Yeah.
It almost has like a sparkle kind of.
We posted several pictures throughout the tour, and that's one of the comments we get is the finish. They're like, wow, it's a really cool finish.
Oh,
Really to bring it back.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
What's your approach to double bass? After you were inspired by guys like Vinnie Paul and Tommy Lee, how did you develop your double bass technique to this extent?
I've often been a lot of comments from my fellow drummers who watch me, especially from behind, comment on how my double kick approach is unorthodox. I'm self-taught, so it just works for me. Generally speaking, what makes sense in my head is a downbeat is the right foot and an upbeat is the left foot. So it's like
Opposite of what a hi-hat would be if you were putting down
right
on it.
So there's been plenty of times where I try to lock in with the rhythm guitar, a lot of syncopation, and sometimes that requires me to lead with the left, which is a little odd for some guys.
Right.
So to me, it feels supernatural. I kind of ran before I walked. I wanted to go right to double kick. I wanted to play drum set. I didn't want to sit there and do rudiments on a pad. I just
that's
wanted.
what you did.
And that's exactly what I
You
did.
did go for
So
it.
now I'm kind of working backwards.
And trying to get some of the mechanics that you missed.
Right, exactly right.
Guys, thank you for being here today. Backstage, Mike Wengren, David Frangioni, Disturbed on tour, the Sickness 25th anniversary. Check it out, original kit and all.